Yes, I do.
Check out
I wish we had beat writer cards. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be
It's like playing cards. You can open them up. They'll be sticking.
All right, let's stop this conversation.
All right, good afternoon, guys. We're so practice-wise, Surratt's going to be out again from practice. He's most likely out for the game. Today is a padded practice, so we'll know more about Joe Tippmann, and but otherwise everyone else is full.
Salt Lake can pop up, so he's good to go.
Yeah, he's we'll get a good test today. Same thing. I'm sorry. Him and Tip pretty much the same, just to see where they're at with regard to their ability to play on Monday.
Did Lakin get hurt in the game, Robert, or is that something that happened in practice?
It was in the game. It was in the game.
What's your level of optimism about Tippmann? Is it? I mean, I know you won't know till it's out there, but are you optimistic?
Yesterday was good. It wasn't as nearly as an intense practice as what today will be. You know me; I'm always optimistic. So we'll see how he does. We're hopeful.
So Dwayne Brown was also full. Like, is there a chance that he's active on Monday?
We'll see again today. See where he's at. Communication with him. Like I said, it's been a month now since he's gotten pads on. So the feedback for tomorrow when he bangs bodies and just on how his body feels will be a big part of that decision.
Brank didn't want to comment on it yesterday, but I guess do you want to comment on McGahee's calling McDonald in legal play on the field?
No.
Chargers secondary statistically hasn't been awesome, but Derwin James is still a really incredible player. What kind of challenge is he?
Derwin, he plays a style that I know we love here. He's fast. He communicates. I've gotten a chance to study him a lot because when Gus was there, they ran our very similar scheme. So just to see him, he's an animal, and you always got to keep your head on a swivel when he's around. He's going to hit you, but he's a dynamic football player, and he's one of the better ones in ball.
Does getting more experience than in a normal year with these night games, do you think, help you guys in terms of kind of knowing the unusual routine versus when you don't do these games very often?
No, for sure. This year our schedule feels like it's been all over the place. I mean, we got four games in 19 days coming up over the next month, and like today, I was laughing with Scar, our ops guy, our chief of staff, and because today's Friday, but it's a Wednesday schedule with a Thursday practice, and so there's all kinds of things going on. And it's okay to continually change the stimulation. I think it's actually better rather than getting into the monotony of just same old. The times change, the schedules change. It keeps you on your toes, keeps you alert, keeps you locked in, and so there's positives to it.
How far out, Robert, are you mapping that out? Like, are you thinking, okay, we're gonna have a short week, and then it's gonna be a late night coming back from Vegas, and then you have that Friday game. How far out are you guys planning that stuff?
We're mapped out all the way until after that, or right before, leading up to the Buffalo week. We're mapped out.
Carl was looking a little frustrated with his playing time last week.
I'm sorry. I meant the Miami game after the Miami game. So who do we play after Miami? Atlanta. There we go. We're mapped up to there. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I guess just Carl's here now after the trade deadline. I guess what do you see from his role going forward?
Same thing. Just continue to do your best and always compete to try to get up on the 53. And I think they're all competing. And like Jermaine Johnson's done a phenomenal job. Bryce Huff has done a phenomenal job, and Will McDonald is a big asset on special teams. So everyone's kind of carved out a role, and it's not a knock on Carl. I think he's still got all the juice in his body and his ability to play at a high level, and I do believe that he's going to be called on eventually. It's he's already been up a few times, and he'll knowing him and the way he works and the way he grinds day in and day out, and how well he takes care of his body, he's a pro, and empathetically I know he wants more, but competition and all that stuff, it is what it is.
Rob, the AFC right now, there's a lot of teams bunched together. It's only early November, but do you start looking at it and say, okay, like this game with the Chargers, this could come into play at the beginning of January when starts being tiebreakers and things for the playoffs.
For sure, all the in-conference games, division, conference, and then out-of-conference, obviously. But obviously it does because it is in conference. But the reality is they all matter. It's gonna, we go back and look back at last year. We're sitting there 7-4, and we lose a tight one to Minnesota and a tight one to Detroit and tight one to Seattle. Well, not really tight to Seattle, but it would just. There was Buffalo, and then obviously there's just so many tight games in the second half of the year where every single one of them, you just got to take it 1 week at a time and just focus on the opponent that you have. And are there bonuses and all that with regard to division or conference? Yeah, sure, you could look at all that, but we just got to take care of the moment.
Coach Stanley is known for some unconventional, moves and going for it on fourth and whatever. Does that affect anything that you guys do in terms of preparation? Does that add any challenges to the game plan, kind of not knowing exactly what to expect from the other game plan?
No, I think in this day and age, it feels like we go into every game assuming that every coach is going to go for it on fourth down, and so you always have a plan for it, and so every situation is understanding and trying to catch up, or not catch on, but just read between the lines of where they are field position wise and what tendencies might be. But for the most part, we always work off the assumption that they're going to go for it.
Robert, how would you describe the personality of your quarterback room? Obviously, changed a little bit when Aaron was in there and when he's not in there. I'm just curious, what it's been like over the course of the season, how you would characterize that group.
I like the group a lot. I think Zach is way more confident than he was a year ago. I like Timmy. Timmy's locked in, man. Sometimes I'm back there and I can hear him talking to himself because he's going through the play with himself. I'm like, just looking over. I'm like, good for him, But he's he's always reminding me to not cancel flight school because he wants those reps. So he's so deliberate in his preparation, which I genuinely appreciate. And Trevor's been fantastic since he's gotten in there, really doing the same thing with preparation. And they both do a great job with the show teams. But really like the makeup of the room. I think they get along really well. I think they feed off one another really well, and it's a good group.
We've asked this a few times recently, but the confidence level right now in the offensive line group with all these moving pieces and kind of questions about Joe, questions about Dwayne, right side.
I've said it, like the five, whoever we put out there, feel confident about the guys that we have. It's just a matter of getting them the continuity that they need to be successful, and because the O-line, I've talked about it, it's the only unit in ball that plays every play and gets hit every play. Like a corner plays every play, but they don't get hit every play. A quarterback, same thing. Linebackers, maybe half the time, but an O-line, they're getting hit every play, and they're playing every play, and the communication that has to happen up front, and the things that the different fronts they see. So half the battle for good O-line plays is having that continuity, and so we're very confident in the individuals. And we just got to continue to strain to find ways to get them to play well together.
You mentioned Jermaine before. Has something really started to click the last couple of weeks, with him on the field?
No, they're young. I know everyone expects things to happen right now, and usually guys like Sauce and Brees and Garrett, for that matter, they're the outliers. Normally, it takes guys more time. Guys like Quincy are the norm, where it takes some time. Even Quinnen took some time, and Jermaine's doing a heck of a job. And we talked about it in training camp. He remade his entire body. He looked fantastic. He had a heck of a training camp. But then there's an adjustment period, and to be honest with you, he's still not where where any of us think he's going to be. He's only going to get better. And the way he plays, how hard he plays, how violent he plays. He's going to be a good one for a while.
A couple more?
Robert, one guy who kind of flew under the radar was Quentin Jefferson. He seemed to have a big game last week against the run. What have you seen from him?
Oh, he's been great. He's producing the pass game, producing the run game. He plays to our style, with the effort and the violence that we ask. And he's been great in the locker room because he is a veteran presence too, and he's got. Obviously he's got a voice, and that voice is of value to our younger guys. And but he's been an absolute pleasure to have.
Does his role increase
increase without sideline?
They're all going to elevate a little bit more. You know, there's we're still going to do our best to get 8 guys out there and to make sure that, because part of the superpower, and it's just our opinion, but to be able to rotate 8 to keep those guys fresh, we want to make sure that we're continuing to keep that rotation so we can keep them as fresh as possible. So we get, you know, I feel like we get stronger as the game goes on because our guys aren't taking on as many reps. So when the third and the fourth, especially the fourth quarter rolls around, we can just continue to send our 8 guys and keep punching them in the mouth, and that's just kind of the formula for us.
Anything else?
The Rutherford Bulldogs?
Yeah, so we're recognizing Coach Steve Dunn from Rutherford High School. They've won their 3rd straight conference championship, ending the regular season 8-0. He graduated from Rutherford High School, taught there for 16 years. He was named head coach in 2020 and is 31-6 overall. Hell of a deal, man. But good luck in their playoff game tonight. Thank you.